We all know that stereotypes are a set of ideas about what a group of people are like. For example, for French people, they say that they wear sailor shirts. French fishermen were the first to wear them, and then Coco Chanel got inspired by the idea, and now they are a symbol of sea romance and Parisian couture, which is false. Instead, what's true is that les baguettes are everywhere because of our bakers couldn't open before 4 a.m. and had to bake bread very quickly, and so now the famous baguette is consumed every day in France with 10 billion units eaten every year. For British people, we often hear that rain and fogs are frequent, which is partly false and partly true. The weather in UK is ever changing, fog is very common, but rain isn't that abundant. But what's extremely true is that British people love tea. This habit was adopted in the 17th century from the Dutch, starting with aristocracy and then common people, and now almost 165 million cups of tea are consumed every day. For US people, we often hear or they say that they eat unhealthy food. Fast food is very abundant, but healthy food restaurants are as much. But what's extremely true is that Americans are patriotic. They are very proud of their country. But they travel a lot too, and they admire other cultures as well.
Have you ever felt like you were being stereotyped based on your nationality? Like if the word Englishman aroused an image of a healthy fellow sipping his tea in a tweed suit, and if France is associated with bonnets and baguettes, Japanese with academics, and Canadians are really just friendly people. It's thanks to stereotype. In most cases, they are based on facts that aren't true. So why do stereotypes exist? Before we can try to explain why stereotypes exist, let's define the word of a stereotype. A stereotype is any commonly known belief about a certain social group or a type of individual. Stereotypes are often confused with prejudices because prejudices are based on a prior assumptions. Stereotypes are often created about people of a specific cultures or races. Almost every culture has or race has a stereotypes. However, gender stereotypes also exist. For example, if you say that men are better than women, you are stereotyping all men and all women. If you say that all women like to cook, you are stereotyping all women. In order to summarize all of this, we can say that stereotypes may have some stimulus value, but they are unscientific generalizations. Stereotypes are mostly false elements. Stereotypes are overgeneralized ideas. Stereotypes are linked with emotional experience, and stereotypes are shared by the group.
Why do stereotypes exist? A lot of factors influence our perception of the world, and thus the way we see things and the way we see people. And one of these factors is first the things we hear and the things we learn from other people and from the broader society, such as reference groups, social learning, family, friends, work, school, all play a tremendous role in the development of stereotypes. Also, experiences and actual facts can play a role of an added value in the formation and development of such stereotypes. Two, the way we remember things. Like we are made in such a way that we remember distinctive things, like an O in a field of X's, a child in a group of men, and so on. So here's an example. Most people of this country are white, so people of any color get noticed. So let's say that all people in this country do good things, and bad behavior is also very noticeable. Let's put the two characteristics together, and there you have it. Most people of any other color they just do bad things. So the idea in our minds exaggerated more than it is in reality. And 3, the inferences we make to create stereotypes. So we tend to assume that people like a person equals the role. There is a tendency for people to overestimate the extent to which people do what they want to do, and to underestimate the extent to which people do what they don't want to do. And so let's say that all women are made to just raise children. So we're kind of stereotyping all women. And we kind of just like assuming that women are just made to raise children.
And because we were living in a touristic city, which is Fez, we decided to go to many commonly known places such as Medina al-Qadima and Jnan Sbil, and questioned many people from different nationalities. What are the impressions you had about Morocco, and did they change after coming here?
I was intrigued to come to Morocco because of many people I know who have been here and said it was a very interesting place to come. It is kind of a multicultural place where there's a little bit of Arabic, a little bit of Africa, and a little bit of Europe, which makes it a very interesting place to visit. Coming here? Yeah. No, I didn't have any bad impressions. Actually, since I've been here, I've been impressed with how safe it is, and how friendly it is for tourists. It's very easy to get around, even as an English-speaking tourist. The one thing that I've found a little bit shocking is the number of women in scarves and hijabs and complete burqas. I wasn't really expecting that, so that has been my big surprise.
Well, we had the impression, and the little bit of reading we've done, is that you're so rich and progressive and multicultural in your country, and what changed when you came here is our jaws dropped. It's beautiful and exotic, and your architecture and your art is just stunning, and we're very, very excited. I mean, we've been traveling, but Morocco is very exciting. So it's changed. It's even better than we expected.
I have wanted to come to Morocco since for a long time. Let's just say that, for decades, and thought about. I'm not even sure what I actually thought the culture would be, but I always thought it was something that was very vast and very old and very just something that I wanted to be a part of. I wanted to be in. And when I came here, and like she said, even where we are staying, the mosaic and the ceilings and the detail to everything is so enormously, you can see the love and the dedication that you guys have to what is actually here and what is actually your culture, and you continue to do that. I think it's phenomenal.
And then another thing is, so, we've traveled a lot, and in the U.S., we keep things practical and simple, and art and many things are practical and simple. So when we come here and see the devotion you take for the work that you do, it's real, very intricate work that's magnificent, really.
Yeah, and we change with the times. Like somebody comes up with a new idea and everybody jumps on that new idea, and your ideas are centuries old and they still are here. We were with someone last night that is building another part of his restaurant, and he was showing us the intricate work and the handmade work that they were doing, and it takes 40 hours for one person to paint this 40 days for a 5x3 thing that he's going to put on the ceiling, and we were just in awe of the dedication that you guys put into your work.
Impression has been positive.
Yeah.
Maybe a little something like the driver who met us yesterday said he was going to take us around, but somebody else showed up, his brother, who doesn't speak very good English. We had a deal yesterday, and the deal changed a lot, and so we're not crazy about that part.
Yeah, and other than that, that's about it. I mean,
nothing big.
Our culture, the things, we knew before came here is like that. You drink a lot of tea with a lot of sugar, and this is true. And
there is the desert, and this is also true, but there's not only this.
You're friendly, and they host you. like this.
People host you in a good way,
Yeah.
and this is true as well.
They help you, they're really helpful if you need like even information, like simple things.
They follow you in the streets trying to sell you things.
Everything.
and also this sometimes is true, sometimes not.
Yeah.
Um,
The things there are in every kind of society, so it's not that important. You can discover when you're in a country, like talking with local people. So I think this is fascinating. It's a part of the society now, the good part and the bad part. It's a balance.
What are the stereotypes that people have about your culture?
Canada, and a lot of people think, especially Moroccans, think that we're all French, but in fact a very small number of Canadians are French. Most of us are English speaking. So
That would be a question that we would ask you, what you think, and then we would let you know if that's true or not. A lot of, I think, is that Americans are arrogant, and there are a lot of arrogant Americans.
Just like in any country.
Just like in any country. But Americans are also very, they want to understand people, and they want to understand, because we come from so many different cultures in America. We are so new, the country of America is so new, that we want to understand more about how people interact and how we, in different races and different colors and different, backgrounds, can get along better. Is mainly, I think, is what we're trying to accomplish.
I think one big one is the ugly American concept. And the ugly American concept is very unfair. Most Americans are very gracious, and they're well-mannered, and they're respectful. People have this idea of Americans when they travel that have this big ego or this arrogance that we talked about. That's so not true. I've been to many countries, and in comparison, and I don't like to compare, but in comparison, the Americans they're gracious, and as you said, they're very open-minded.
from Italy, so everybody thinks that in Italy there is mafia, and this is also partially true, because in some parts of Italy there is still mafia, also where you don't think there is. Sometimes it's there, but there is also a lot of good people. And other things they think about Italians, they always eat pasta and pizza, and this is also true because I think at least 5 times in a week we eat pasta and 2 times pizza, so we often eat pizza and pasta. Other things about Italy,
that the life is easy, but it's not that true.
Maybe it's easier than in other countries, but there is also...
In this period, especially for like 4 years, it's not that easy like 2 or 3 years before.
Il y a énormément de stéréotypes, de préjugés, d'a priori, d'idées reçues, d'idées devenues communes, qui en France stigmatisent l'étranger en général, et l'Africain, le musulman et l'Arabe en particulier. Les stéréotypes les plus partagés emprisonnent le Marocain, par exemple, dans des clichés négatifs qui le dépeignent comme un drogué, comme un voleur à la tire, comme un feignant, comme un incapable, comme un illettré. Mais il faut comprendre que ces idées devenues communes sont d'autant plus néfastes qu'elles fixent l'opinion des gens dans l'erreur. Cela est dû principalement à la manipulation des médias, dans le cinéma, qui excelle par des informations interposées, qui excelle par la désinformation, à dénigrer l'autre.
What are the things that you want other people to know about your culture?
There are lots of beautiful places also outside Venice and Rome, okay? There are a lot of small cities and villages that are really beautiful. And
if you come to Italy, support local, not big things. For the survival of the society. If you come to Italy, we can host you. And that's it. I think, no?
Le plus dangereux des stéréotypes concerne cet amalgame entre l'islam et la terreur qui a abouti à cette énormité que l'on désigne en termes d'islamophobie. Mon espoir est que l'on cesse partout en Occident de dénigrer l'Orient et sa culture. Le Maroc, pays de paix, de tolérance, n'échappe pas à cette animosité gratuite. Et c'est aux Marocains, et particulièrement à vous les jeunes, d'instruire le monde sur nos valeurs identitaires singulières de convivialité, de paix et de tolérance.
احنا كمسلمين كنتعاملوا مع جميع الديانات مع جميع الديانات كجميع البشر. هذا هو اللي كاين. مرحبا بهم، اللي بغى يجي مرحبا به. احنا على حسن الاستقبال، حسن الضيافه. هادشي اللي غادي نقول.
What we can do to combat stereotypes. First, expose yourself to different experiences. By stepping out of your usual routines, you might better understand people who are different from you or how stereotypes came to be. Travel and education can go a long way toward mitigating biases. Learning to be self-aware to understand our own cultural perspectives, how our social identities have been shaped, and how they in turn have informed our perspectives. Entering into a mutual relationship in which both parties open themselves up to the other. If I'm learning things about you without revealing anything of myself in return, I'm not forming a reciprocal relationship, and I shouldn't be surprised if you are uninterested in sticking around for more. Second, get real. Realize that we all stereotype. No one is immune. It does not make us bad people. Knowing we all do it could just be the motivation we need to change.
So, as everybody knows, experiences are something that form a part of our life, and they're basically just the memories we keep after everything ends. And this particular experience is something that we're probably gonna never forget, because one, it's a very special trial for us, it's eye-opening, and it's enriching in a way. We've learned a lot, like a few things from this whole process, from the whole thing. First, it takes a great courage to just approach people who are basically strangers and just start a conversation with them, to just make them trust you and to just make them feel at ease. Two, people from Asia or people from like Eastern countries like Arabs and so are not like really reserved. They're not that open in comparison with like Europeans or Americans. So they don't want to be filmed, they don't want to be questioned, and they're kind of scared of strangers, like basically like scared. And three, stereotypes can be overcome by simple conversations and just open minds, because after all, we're all humans and we all share like the same values, like curiosity and stuff like that. We just want to know the other person, and yeah, that's part of being a human being.